Hey gals and guys, welcome back to the Summer Scrappin Series. It's Audrey. Today is day 12. My special guest today, also joining me with a summer page, is Terhi. She is another one of my scrappy favorites. I love, love, love her work too. So she does great mixed media and just fussy cutting and beautiful, beautiful layouts. So go check out her page. So today I am doing a page about my kids and I kayaking. And when I was thinking about kayaking, I was thinking that I wanted to use um, a shape that looked like kayaks. And I love this little pod shape. So this is, so I actually manipulated this cut file. I did not take a video of my cut file manipulation. I usually show you in Silhouette Studio what I'm doing, but I just took this one shape. It was just called a pod, and I think I got it in the Silhouette store, and I copy and pasted it several times. And they fit in like 1-inch strips. And my initial plan was to actually not use the pod shape itself. I was going to use the negative. So if you look on the right, that piece of paper there on the right, that's the negative. But I started laying these out, and I'm like, you know what? I really like this layout, the layout of the positive shapes. So I used this piece of blue striped pattern paper, but as I was going through my stash, I also found another piece of paper that I thought I might want to use as well. So I'll show you that here in a second. I'm going to try to see what these pieces look like on the page. And I specifically, for my background paper, or I'm sorry, for the paper I used to cut the cut file out of, I was specifically looking for a striped piece of paper so that when I laid these strips out like this, that you could kind of see the stripe pattern in the background. So I like the way that this looks too. And then I thought, you know, I could back a couple of the open spaces with some other colors of paper. I could even rearrange these colors a little bit, cut them off, shorten them up, and just kind of get a cool layout. And I like that too, but I'm going to go with plan C. And plan C is I did the same thing, but I cut the pods from this other piece of striped paper. This is a piece of paper from a Paige Evans collection. I cannot remember which collection this one's from. But I kind of like, I wasn't going for the rainbow theme, but I wasn't planning on doing the rainbow look. I was going to go with the monochromatic blue. But in my picture, we have a red and a blue kayak. And you'll see in a second here, when I put my picture on, where the red kayak lines up, it kind of lines up great with the red pieces of paper. And where the blue kayak lines up, it lines up great with the blue pieces of paper. So here, see what I mean? Right there, the red and the blue. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go with that. So that is what I'm going to do. So before I get any further and try to start adding things on before securing down all these shapes, I'm going to put all these little pod shapes down with some glue. And I am not going to show you me going through every single one here, but I do want to point out that you can see I'm kind of like nestling in each row into the next row. So where the curve is of the pod shape, it kind of nestles into where the other two shapes meet. And if you look at the negative space there, it's kind of this really pretty like wavy swirl pattern. And I will go back and add some machine stitching in a little bit to kind of highlight that look. Okay, so got those all glued down, and now I'm going to add some mixed media over this with my big jug of gesso. And I didn't want to add too much gesso here because I really wanted the colors to stay bold on this page. So I'm just going to add a little bit right underneath where my photo is going to go. And then I'm going to go through my stash of mists, and I'm going to use a lot of shimmers today. I just thought I had some perfect colors to match the shimmers, and I'm going to use the packaging technique and kind of just match up the blue with the blue, pink with the pink, etc., etc. And I'll go through and do that. This blue is a little too bright. The blue on the paper is a little bit more navy, and this blue is a little bit brighter than that, but it's fine. It adds a little color to the page. I'm sorry I don't know what all these colors are. I just call them like mint and bright blue and coral reddish colors, and I don't know all their names, but I'm sure if you go back and pause, I do show the bottles there, so you can probably see the name of the colors if you want to. I love, like, when you use gesso, it makes a huge difference as far as it takes a little bit of time for the ink to soak in. So if you have to dab some off because you put it on too heavy or something, you have a little bit of wiggle time to kind of blot some off before. I really couldn't say. Before it blots some off. Sorry, that was my watch just talking on its own there. Anyway, gonna finish up a couple more colors here, and I love the way that looks. It came out so pretty. So here I'm going to go in with a little bit darker blue. I forgot I even had this color blue, but it's a little bit more navy. And I'll add some splatters of that. And I love looking at these little shapes. They just, it looks like a sea of kayaks, a big pod of kayaks kind of swimming on the water. Okay, so now I'm gonna go through, I went through my stash, I found a whole bunch of embellishments that I thought might want to add, and I went through some other collections that I don't typically consider like summer collections, but I think a lot of Amy Tan's collections, they have a lot of bright colors, and they lend themselves well to summery pages, so that's where that Let's Go circle and that arrow are from. This is another Paige Evans collection. And I remembered that in her collection here, she has, on the sticker sheet, you can see on the left, I knew that there was a heron or a bird. There, I pulled that one off. That I thought I was going to add, but I don't think I end up using that one. No, I don't end up using that one. I end up using this one from the Sunny Days collection from Crate Paper. I guess that's not a heron. That one's probably more of looks more like a whooping crane to me. So yeah, so I'm just going to go through and add some bits and pieces. I've got some simple story sticker sheets here. I have a hard time when I use multiple collections and multiple kits like this because I spend so much time going through everything, finding the perfect embellishment. And that's why most of the time when I scrap, I typically stick to a collection. Because it just takes me forever otherwise to go through things. Because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to picking just the right embellishment. So I took out these stickers. I love the little phrase, the black phrase that says "enjoy the ride," but I'm not loving the black on the page. I guess it's all right, but I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it, so I am gonna skip the black. I'm going back to this anchor. It had too much of a white edge around it, so I'm going to trim off the white edge of the anchor. So I put the black pieces away. I'm going to skip those. I found this little surfboard, kind of also looks like a kayak shape. That came from that Pink Paisley collection there. I'm going to back my photo with a piece of pattern paper. I decided to go with kind of a black and white print because I had so many colors on the page already that I thought the black and white would make the photo stand out a little bit better. Just going to rough up those edges. So this picture, I love the angle of this shot. Charlotte, my daughter Charlotte, in the blue kayak, she was adamant that she could do it herself, that she could kayak by herself, and we were out there for quite a long time. And if you've ever kayaked, you know it takes a lot of arm strength, and she did a great job. I was very proud of her. And then my son went in the kayak with me, and he kind of paddled along with me. It's very hard to kayak when you have somebody sitting in front of you. It's hard to do the paddle because you have to really stretch out. But she did a great job, and we had fun kind of just gliding along. That's my title. And we did a few races, but it was a little unfair. So yeah, I just love the angle of this photo. So I went through, found some more alpha stickers. I put a little sunshine up there. That came from a Simple Story sticker sheet, and I liked how that went with the yellow. And I'm just going to title this page Gliding Along, and I'm going to leave some space down there at the bottom for my journaling. I had pulled out these stickers and I thought I would just add a couple of them. I don't know why. Just for a little bit more interest. And I liked this one. This one fit perfectly with the colors up there. And it kind of highlighted the edge of the photo. So I'm going to do the same thing down here in the bottom right with another pink one. These stickers are awesome. I bought 2 of those sets. I love the paint strokes, and they're clear, so when you put them on white paper, they kind of look like actual paint. Okay, there's my stitching. So I went through and I stitched the wavy lines, outlined the pod shapes of every row. And now I'm just going to go back through and rearrange and start gluing things down. I moved my sun over a little bit. I thought it looked better over above the photo. So I think I'm looking for my craft foam now. Yeah. I love this craft foam. I love using it to, add dimension to my elements on my page. And I have been using it. I find though with the tape, when you use the liquid glue, it takes forever to dry and it kind of slides around a little bit until it's dry. So I went to a tape runner and I found a tape runner that finally worked. Well, the other day when I was putting layouts away, well, I say away, I mean in the pile, I noticed some of my photos were peeling off my layouts, and they were the ones that I had secured with the tape runner. And so the foam is coming off my layouts. So I am not going to be using the tape runner anymore to adhere the foam things down, because when I make a layout, I want things to be stuck and be stuck there permanently. Like, I don't want to have to go back and fix it. So I'm going to be using liquid glue to make sure my photos are stuck down from now on, because I just can't find a tape runner that works. Anyway, scrapper's problems, right? Okay, so I added some foam adhesive to my anchor here. I punched a hole in it. I'm adding some white twine to put a little rope. Yeah, I just glued everything else down. Nothing too earth-shattering. I just wanted to add a couple more touches, so I took out some really pretty sequins. These are they're white, but they're kind of like have an iridescent sheen to them, so when you put them on any color, it kind of picks up that color. And I'm just going to add these on with glue dots. These are just Hobby Lobby brand, cheapy sequins. And that about does it. I do add some journaling underneath my title there, and I put the date stamp on. I always add my journaling with my journaling lines with a white pen, because you can't really see them. And then you can just go just to make sure your words are straight. So that's it. There is the final page. And you can see some close-ups here with the stitching and the layering of the little bits. So I really like how this page came out, even though the final product was like, the third iteration of the layout, but sometimes that's just the way it works. So thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to go check out Terhi's page today, and stay scrappy, my friends. I'll see you the next day.